Thanks for joining in. Welcome to Dusty DIY. Today, we're going to show you how to change U-joints without U-joint presses, just tools you have around your shop. Going to press out some ATV U-joints. This actually belongs to a 2016 RZR, but you could do this on any type of U-joint on probably about any vehicle. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. All right, I noticed we had a little wobble in one of these U-joints on this ATV. So there are two different drive shafts, one long one with a carrier bearing, which looks like it's in pretty good shape. So we're gonna leave that. We're gonna switch this U-joint and one other on this one. Okay, first thing that we do is we find the U-joint that's bad. I went to my tool cabinet and I got a couple of sockets. First of all, older sockets that I can hit with a hammer. I basically have a socket that fits the end cap on the U-joint, and I also got a socket that fits the knuckle, but the U-joint cap would fit inside. So it should fit in like that. One side is to hold it so we can knock it down. The other one is to smack it down with. I got a good hammer, and I actually got couple small screwdrivers and picks. Sometimes they have clips that are on the inside to hold the U-joint in. Sometimes the clips are on the outside. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all the clips. They're actually on the inside of the drive line right here. And I know they make a special tool that takes those out, but I just do it with the pliers or a pick. It's a little tedious, but just take a screwdriver and pull these clips out like this. There should be one on each end of a U-joint. Now, some of them are different on this car U-joints. A lot of times they're on the outside. You take a pair of pliers and pull them out like that. Once the clips are out, then we're going to push the U-joint down with the socket that fits. Now we got to have an area for the bottom of the U-joint to come into a pocket. That's what this other socket is for. This socket is going to sit right here while I smack that down. Once it drops down, I can take off the cap. Once I get that cap off, it'll come out. The reason I do this on the floor is I have something solid to hit down towards the concrete. Sometimes you use a couple of blocks to help pry your drive line up to where you need it, so it will sit really nicely where you can hit it with a good solid hit. All right, once I have that lined up, I'm gonna not drive this part of the U-joint down into the socket. See, it moved a little, gotta go a little further. You can see it's went down about 1/8 of an inch. I gotta knock it to where that cap goes through. You can see the cap coming out on this side. At some point, I can pull that out. Looks like all the pins were rusty and falling apart in there. At this point, I could smack it back the other way or continue down. One more smack. Kind of nice because the inside of this socket fits over that and passes through, so it makes it easy to hit it down and stay on. A lot of times just use an old socket. By hitting them with the hammer, it ruins them. I just had a bunch of old sockets, so I turned one of them into a U-joint popper. All right, there we go. There's the old U-joint and the old caps. They're pretty rusty. Had a little bit of wiggle play, so I wanted to switch them. All right, now what we're gonna do next, we're gonna take a little emery cloth and clean up these inside races a little. Make sure these are cleaned up. Also make sure that the this is good, all the teeth on here. I'm gonna make sure it fits good. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just take some emery cloth and clean inside these races a little bit. Clean up any of the burrs or rust, or make them nice and shiny and clean. All right, my new U joint right here, which happens to be Tusk brand. They seem to be pretty good. It comes with new clips and a couple different grease certs. So I'll decide which one's gonna fit best once I get my drive line together. So I got new clips and everything. First thing you do is you carefully take off these caps. And there's a bunch of little pins in there. You want to make sure those pins don't come off or get lost. And if for some reason you have to fix one, just take a little screwdriver and fix and make sure they're all lined up and looking good. Notice there's a lot of good grease in there. All right, once I have this cleaned out in here, I'm actually going to put the U joint in. Gonna slide one cap on very carefully, try to keep it upright so that you don't mess those pins up. Okay, I just drove that one down a little. Now I'm gonna make sure none of those pins fell over. They look good, there's grease in there, they're all lined up. If I need to fix them a little, I'm gonna do that with the screwdriver. And there's good oil in there, so this is going to slide down on, slide my U joint down a little. Now I'm going to seat it down using this driver. All right, seated it pretty well. Now I can go ahead and put on one clip right here. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this clip on this side. Make sure it's in the groove. Now I'm gonna tap this side down to where I get the clip in. Okay, once I get that down where it should be, I can see the race right here. I'm gonna go ahead and push the other side clip in. These ones are pretty easy. You just push them straight in. Make sure they're all the way in. Now we're gonna do the reverse process on this one here. Okay, I got that all put together. It's nice and tight. I've got all the clips in. And normally you can put the grease cert in them before you put the U joint in. I was gonna do it after because I put the grease cert so it's on the outside facing the direction I can get to the easiest. And also it comes with a 45-degree grease cert and a 90-degree. I think the 45 will be, or a plug, you can just plug them. I think I'm gonna put the grease cert on it so I can grease it, but I'm gonna use the 45-degree. It just seems like it'd be easier to get my grease gun on. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and just squirt a little more grease in there. All right, there's one of them, lubed up, all ready to go with the grease cert. Now I'm gonna go ahead and change. I got one more to change. This one here is pretty rusty and loose a little. All right, we got both U-joints changed and working really well. They look nice, they're nice and tight. We've got all the clips in, the greaser in a good spot where we can grease that every once in a while. If this video was helpful, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down in the corner. Like and subscribe, we got lots of cool content coming, lots of DIY projects. And thanks for watching.